Today I have a review on lots of different e.l.f. products. Today I'm going to cover all my blushes, bronzers, and highlighters, and these will be in different kind of creams and powders. So I'm going to go over what I have, the swatches, and kind of a mini review of all the products. So the first thing I want to start with is the e.l.f. $2 blushes, and these used to be just a $1 blush with like a little slide out, and they have repackaged them and put a brush with them, which I obviously don't have because I don't use them. But I feel like overall, for the price, these are still a pretty good blush. The colors that I have in this are Flushed and Shy and Glow. I would say that the pigmentation on these is pretty good, but it's not consistent. I have seen other people say that theirs were not very pigmented at all. The Glow and the Flush by far are much more pigmented. The Shy, it can be pigmented, like when you work with it for a swatch, but it really doesn't translate as well to the face. And so it's not like my favorite of them because it just, you have to work a little harder to get some color out of it. Okay, next and probably a little bit more popular is the Studio line, and I have Candid Coral and Fuchsia Fusion. I would say that definitely these blushes can be a little more pigmented. This one has a little bit of shimmer. The Candid Coral has like a little bit of shimmer in it. It's a lot more peachy toned. And the Fuchsia Fusion has like glitter in it. So this will definitely not be for one that prefers matte blushes, but it's fun for on occasion when you feel like you want a little extra sparkle. When I use these products, I find I have to make sure I tap it off because it does get quite powdery and I don't want to just overwhelm my face with color. Now, some people have said that the Candid Coral is a good dupe for the NARS Orgasm, and this one and the Glow look pretty similar in the pan, so sometimes it's hard to tell like what really the difference is. So I went ahead and have the swatches of those. And then this is the Orgasm right there from NARS. And you can tell that the Orgasm is so much more pink. This one's just way more peach. So it was kind of interesting to see those side by side to really see how much better that this is. And I mean, it has that peach undertone, but it's definitely a lot more pink. Okay, so I do have one like blush stick. And this is in the color Pink Lemonade, and this kind of looks intimidating in the little tube here, but it is actually gives a really nice dewy finish, and it looks more like a stain when it's applied, and it is kind of like a I went outside in the cold kind of look, just kind of a pinch of natural flush. So I really like this. The only thing I don't like about these is like I'm gonna probably have to like dig into this because like the packaging is obviously not good. These are like $1, so I mean, what do you expect? But it like won't even really roll up, and so to use this product I'm gonna have to use like a brush to like dig in there. So I mean, after a time I'll probably just end up throwing it away. But I mean, for $1, two of their cream blushes, you know, I have them in Heartbreaker and Flirt. And these are very interesting. They have a very like squishy texture when you touch them. I thought when I ordered these online that they were going to be a lot different. One is supposed to be more peach and one's more pink. But as you can see in the jars, they're really close. Like it looks different, but when I apply them, I mean virtually to me they look almost the same. So, I mean it's funny, like I open them and I'm like, which one is this? Like I have to like actually look at the name sometimes to see which one is which. But I really like these. I like the formula. I wouldn't say they're like the world's most longest lasting blush, but I do find that I like to apply these underneath, and I use just the little stippling. If you haven't tried the small stippler, I just used it so it's all pink. If you haven't tried this small stippling brush from e.l.f., I would definitely recommend it. It's perfect to go in the little jar, and then I just stipple it on my cheeks, and then I will usually top it with one of like my powder blushes, and it just sets it, and I think it gives it a longer lasting blush. So today I am wearing Flirt underneath, and then on top I have Flushed. And that's kind of been my go-to blush look recently, and I really liked it. I really like the combination of the two, and I feel like putting the cream blush and then this on top of it helps it last, and it helps give it a lot of depth. Okay, as far as bronzers, I have one of their baked bronzers in St. Lucia, and this is the lightest, and I would definitely not recommend this for anyone that doesn't have very fair skin. For me, when it's summertime, this is almost too light. It's not super pigmented. I mean, you have to rub quite hard to get pigment off there, but I do really like this. Like, I use it quite a bit, especially right now, because it is so light that I don't feel like I get a heavy hand and then accidentally get way too much bronzer on, and then I'm like white with these brown streaks. So I do feel like it's really great for fair skin, but I would definitely not suggest that I would go with a darker color if you have medium to dark skin. Okay, the next one I have is a body shimmer, and they make these in different colors, like pinks and golds and things like that, so they're meant to be used all over. And this one I got, it kind of reminds me of the multiple of NARS Laguna. I have not swatched them side by side, so I don't know that it's a dupe or anything, but it kind of has that same gold shimmer look. It's one of those products that seems like fun, but then you realize, do you really want to be bronze and glittery? I think, like, you know, we go back to that same matte look of bronzer usually. So, I mean, I only really use that in the summertime when I don't want to wear a blush and I just want to have like a shimmery bronze look on my cheeks and I'm tan. That's a great kind of like beachy glow look. But other than that, I don't use it all over, obviously, because it's too dark for my skin. But I do like the creamy consistency of it, and I do like the applicator because I feel like it's nice to just kind of like sweep it on your cheeks or rub it in, and it's really quick. Okay, the next one is actually an all-over color stick, so it's not technically a bronzer, but I use it for a bronzer. And this is just in the color Toffee, and I just got the darkest shade, or one of the darkest shades, to use for contouring. So if you've seen my Taylor Swift video, I actually do like a full foundation in that, and I actually do some contouring with this product, and it's really cool what you can do with light and dark, and they're completely matte because they're meant to be more like a cream foundation or concealer or whatever else. And so I can blend it in and contour without having any kind of shimmer and not a powdery finish, more of just a natural dewy finish. Okay, so as far as my highlighters go, my first one is actually considered a baked blush. But if you look at this, obviously it does not look like a blush at all. This is called Pinktastic, and although it does have little ribbons of pink in there, it is mostly a gold highlighter. Now this, like, if you can get it to swatch, it can be a really pretty color, and the swatch that I have up here is actually really vivid, and it looks similar to the Mary Luminizer from the Balm, but it does not translate as well on the skin. I feel like you really have to work hard to get product off, so I don't feel like these baked products have a lot of pigmentation, I guess, but I mean, you definitely can work with it, and if you're okay with, you know, kind of working it in and applying a couple coats, you can get a very nice shade out of this. Okay, so my next one are, my next ones I should say are little color sticks, and I have these in Lilac Pearl and Persimmon, and the only difference is one is more pink toned and one is more purple toned, and these are just great highlighters when you want more of like an iridescent look, or you like a little bit of that pink toned highlighter purple. And again, the only downfall with these is the packaging. I mean, some of these will, this one actually rolls up, so look at that, but I mean, you can see that it's like broken in there. So I mean, the packaging is obviously going to be a big downfall, but again, these are like $1, so still kind of get what you pay for. Okay, and then the other one, I classify this as a highlighter because I use this in conjunction with the Toffee for highlighting and contouring. This is great to do like a V-shaped right here underneath the eye, to highlight like your nose or on your jawline or anything like that, because you can blend it into your foundation. It's not going to be like, oh my gosh, my nose is shimmering now, but it's going to give you a nice highlighted effect. Okay, and my last one is the Shimmer Palette in Sheer Sunrise. And if you saw my products I would not repurchase video, I mentioned this and comparing it to What's Up by Benefit. And although I still love my What's Up Benefit and I still buy Benefit and I still use it, I still feel like for the price that I probably wouldn't purchase it again. Now, if money was not an issue, I definitely would pick the Benefit because I like it better. But if you're trying to go economical, I would definitely say the shimmer palette is nice. Now, when swatched, the colors kind of come off very similar. The ones I can really tell a big difference in is this champagne is obviously the darkest, and this white is definitely the whitest. So the champagne I definitely like to use as a highlighter, and that's what I use on my cheeks today. And then I did top it off with a little bit of this Pinktastic just to set it. The white I like to use under my eyebrow, just a little teeny bit, not this whole part where it's the highlight, just right under the eyebrow and blend it in. And it just kind of gives it that lifted look without making a big highlight. Sometimes when I see highlights that are too shimmery, it just seems like it stands out a little too much. So I like just that little ribbon right there, and then maybe even a matte underneath it, just to kind of lift the eyebrow right there. And then the pink shade I like to use like for my lips. So like today I have it just like in the center of my bottom lip here, then right in my cupid bow right there. Any of the shades are good for highlighting the inner corners of your eyes. Pretty much anything else, I mean, you could use like a stippling brush and like brush it on if you were like wanting to go all glowy for whatever reason. Anyway, those are all of my e.l.f. products that are in the blushes and bronzers and highlighters. So if you have any more questions about any of these products, feel free to ask, and I'll see you guys later.